We are here in the S10. We got a really neat idea brewing. Let me just get right into it. And it's simple. We have this extra tablet that was left behind, and I thought, how cool would that be, you know? So I decided to tear things apart and did a few things first. So thing number one, when I did this stereo, there's already some stuff you had to do, installing a stereo and whatnot. What I ended up doing though was in the back behind the stereo, I had to do some trimming in order for this stereo to fit flush. Now, it used to stick out, it used to be level right here, like flush, like a radio would be. It wouldn't be this far back because it kind of just looks strange, The reason for that is because I wanted to see if a tablet could be flush, and it can be, and that is awesome, okay? The second problem I was running into was the AC controls. Could I have left them? Yes, I could have. I could have, just lived with it, probably done something like this, cover that small gap. But I was like, if I'm hot, I don't want to do this every time, So I did some research. Well, actually, I take that back. I just looked at it. And here are all the cables. And yes, the cables do fit. They will come out if you push them down. There's a small hole. You kind of see. I won't do both, but there's two of them. Screw it, I'll do both. There we go. There's two of them, and you see there's plenty of slack right here. So I was like, cool, I'll just mount it here. And I was thinking, well, that looks strange. It's strange, and I lose like a lot of space, blah blah blah. And I was thinking about it. And then I was like, what if I cut this and then trim some of this off, and then it would look good there, which is what I want to do. But then I ran into the problem of the dash having those clips there, which can be very important. So it has clips at the top and stuff. I just don't want this thing to be rattling. If it needs them, it needs them. So my plan for you guys is I'm going to relocate these tabs, if I need to these guys over here, what the AC used to be mounted to. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, those right there. And I plan it to just like plastic weld / epoxy to the back here and here. That will create two new tabs. That way it still locks into place. And then I'm gonna chop this down, then trim it. Here she is mounted. Now what I did is I took I believe 3/8. Yeah. So I used a 3/8 drill bit to make the mounting holes for the pins. I was able to put two over here, and I had to trim away this whatever this is stuff, the vinyl. Also, it had a little ridge, kind of hard to explain, kind of like this, but it went with the curve, and I had to grind that down. This bottom clip did not go in all the way, which is whatever. It's just the angle of the dash, but I was able to secure it with one of the screws. Now on this side it's a little different, because it does not go all the way down. I'm going to I want to add something there just so I can be able to have something to screw it into, because I'm sure this is enough, but I just like having my stuff secured. If I ever hit it or something, I want it to not fall apart. So that's the other thing there. The next thing is I'm going to start trimming this away little by, whoops, what is happening? Okay, I'm going to start trimming this away little by little, to where I can get it to go the way it needs to go without having any issues. So this is where we're at. And it may not look any different than when you last just now saw it, but major changes that I've done is I had to cut this bracket, and I left the mounting hole, and also I like rounded it off, and this piece had to be trimmed in order to accommodate that. Now this piece, it does snap in. If I can find the hole, that's what she said. Like that, so it will screw in, no problem there. So the only thing left to make this setup work is I need to add a way for something to screw on the back or to get attached back here. I've thought about a couple ways of doing it. What I'm gonna try is to reuse this piece right here. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can cut out this. I'm gonna start with this small one and cut it out, and leaving these little support things. And my plan is, I'm hoping it'll work, is I can put it mounted and like use some screws to secure it from the bottom up, if that makes sense. And that way I have something to screw onto. So this is actually the way I ended up doing it. So this is where we're at. I've been thinking about it, and I think the best way to make this look good without too much hassle is to hit up the junkyard and basically try to buy a piece. And I don't remember exactly how the stock radio was. I know they were huge, but the plan is to buy a piece where I can just basically steal a section from here and here. Found one. It's obviously broken, which I don't need all this. Actually, I kind of wanted to switch this piece anyways, which that works out. But hopefully this will work. You know, it's funny though. I know places like, you know, have to make their business, but they charge me $10 for this piece. I don't know if it's worth 10, but hell, I'll take it. Well, she's trimmed. And I gotta say, you know, if someone has a pull GM or somebody, why the hell are these things made so crazily cheap and brittle? I mean, this, I don't know if you saw it during the time lapse, but this broke. Luckily, I'm in a position to fix that. But anyways, to show you where we're at, this is roughly it. It's a new day, and here we are. I was able to trim it just to where it made me happy. Obviously, there's always trimming involved. For example, on this side, you can kind of see how this curve follows. And I trimmed it too, but then it kind of sticks back out again. It's the little things. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna deal with this yet. I want to just install the tablet already and see, kind of go from there. Because once I install the tablet with all that extra reinforcement that's going to be there, this thing will be so much more stronger. I feel more comfortable with it. I also went ahead off camera and epoxied this piece down here, and I also trimmed it to make it more, you know, I guess matching this side, I guess. And this is what I trimmed off of that piece right there. But now we're at the point where we can put some crazy glue, let it sit, that way it matches the contour of this piece here, because it's not exactly, you know, straight. I'm sure it's not. And we can glue it and then reinforce it from the back. Alright guys, so what you saw in the time lapse, originally I was gonna like cut it here and just like chop it off straight. Then I started thinking like, well, this is the face. I kind of need the face to look nice. That's the whole point, right? And I'm like, well, let me just trim off little by little and see how it works, which I'm glad I did that. So I trimmed off one of these little ears right there. So that's the top one. Okay, and then I also trimmed off, like if it was like you saw in the time lapse, I just trimmed off, hold on, let me get something to point with. I trimmed off at this line right here. Okay, I didn't cut into this, I removed this piece on this side. So then that worked out really well. And then it started catching on the camera part right here, which I took out that little plastic as well. All that came out really easy. Sanded it, feels nice. And then the volume buttons were catching. So I took the grinder and gently, because this is very thin already, very gently kind of like made a little notch in there. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Just barely, you know, and then sanded it just so the tablet would slide in and out. Oh, focus. Okay. So now the tablet will successfully slide. It doesn't lock in place and it comes out. So the plan is when you slide it in, you can use your hand to slide it out. I don't know why that video stopped earlier, but here she is. Fiberglass reinforced here, and I tried making a curve to make up for that one piece in the back. I don't know if you remember. See how that works out. I sanded this too on camera, but I didn't catch any of that. So basically I'll try to scuff it up as much as I could, the corner pieces and stuff. And I'll put tape all over the tablet where it might get some epoxy and stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and epoxy this thing together. That way it's all set up in place. Alright guys, I'm finally happy with the way this looks. I'm glad I took all those little things off. This seems like a little bit of more professional look anyways, and it gives me a lot more to work with. I did plastic welds to fill this up, but now we're at the point where we're getting pretty close to being able to attach this on here. But one thing I needed to do first is plug this thing in and have a permanent plug. Well, I gotta trim this up anyways, but I need to have like a permanent plug, so when I snap this thing in place, it'll charge and stay charged the entire time. If you're looking at this and wondering, well, that looks a lot different, it's because it does. I lost footage, I'm sorry. But basically what happened is, what you missed is I added this piece in once I got it all situated, because originally when I did my cuts, the piece was sticking out and it was like offset and stuff. So I added a piece here and added a piece here, just doing plastic welding in the back, and I just spray painted it black so it didn't look horrible. And then also ended up removing the plug from in there because it's funny, I grabbed it because I knew it would fit, but I didn't test to see if the plug worked. So that's always a bad thing. But there's a tablet right there. Comes out pretty easy. I think it'll come out even better once you have the plug in place, or the charging cable in place. And since we don't have access to a volume knob, the really nice thing is there's just enough room under there where you can kind of just go like, you know, turn the volume up, turn it down, which right now ain't doing nothing, but you get the gist. The finish on this is still a little bit spotty. It's got like a couple spots here and there, but I'm honestly at the point where I don't want to mess with this anymore, and I got a bunch of other stuff going on, so I'm going to go ahead and paint this. That way we can install it on the truck. So this is what she looks like with just base color. We use flat black and then color with no gloss, even though it seems like it has it. Now we're going to use some Rust-Oleum. So this is what it looks like with all the hardware in. We're gonna put this bad boy in the truck. Tablet installed. I think all the decisions made for this install were pretty good. Even the black. I think that's a very good transition. With the black vents, it's not an overkill on the red like my brother was saying. At some point I'm going to add a volume control knob, but that's to be in the future. I'm not really sure if I'll do like maybe one right here, maybe steering control, maybe change out the steering wheel. I don't know. To keep this thing charged, right now I have it hooked on one of the bottom ones, but on the little tray, if you had one here, you should have an accessory. Mine was cut for some reason. I don't know why, but I don't really care at this point. I got it tapped off to the side over there. So, but like I said, this is a pretty neat thing I've always wanted to do. I think it looks sweet. We got more dash stuff going on in the future. We're gonna do the top, probably paint it, you know, paint a lot of the interiors to match, maybe redo the doors and all the other stuff. Well, if you like it, please subscribe. Thanks.